So number 13, invitation. Explain that one. Who's inviting who, or and for what reason? Invitation.
It's mutual. It's just kind of at the end. I'm kind of wrapping it up here and saying, discipleship. All of these things we need to invite the process, and basically, in simpler words, we just need to invite God into our lives because God completes the process. God is faithful to commune with His Spirit with you, create a community to convict you, to encourage you, but we have to be willing. We have to invite it ourselves. And God always has an outstretched hand to us, He says in Scripture. It says about Israel, all day long I've stretched out my hands to a disobedient and contrary people. And that's who Israel was. And we can be that way sometimes. We can be stiff-necked. And He doesn't want that. He wants us to invite the process, but He wants us to know that He's always there with outstretched arms, outstretched hands saying, son, daughter, come.
Right.
Jesus says it in Matthew 11. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
Right.
He's inviting us in closer, and we can always get closer. Think about Moses and the burning bush passage. It wasn't until after Moses saw the burning bush, it wasn't until after he decided to go closer. It actually says, I will now go close and see what this mysterious thing is.
Right.
It wasn't until he got closer, okay, that he was revealed more about God, more about His mission, more about who God was.
I'm here to take off your shoes to kind of trust that the environment he's in is safe to be open and vulnerable almost, right?
It's holy. It's sacred. God knows your heart already. He wants the reckoning. He wants you to recognize your poor and needy state, because when you're humble like that, He can work with you. He can work on you. You know? So that's an encouragement to everybody. God's inviting you all the time. His word says it. We need to invite Him in.
Right. And you did touch on that. I think you used Psalm 139 to say, search me, O God, and know my heart. Right.
We need to want that.
How do we know when God answers our invitation? Is there a sign, or is it just it happens, so just deal with it?
I think there are signs that God shows you when He's intervening in your life and you're connected to Him and you're going through this process of discipleship, when He is searching your heart and trying to rid you of the sin, circumcising your heart, so to speak. I do think there are signs. There's a changed life is a sign. There's more evidence of the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness.
Right.
That's a sign. But even without a sign, we can trust that when we invite God, He's with us because He says so. Sometimes you have to trust the Word against your feelings. Sometimes you have to say, God said it, and even though I don't feel like it, it's right. Feelings can't dictate reality because our feelings go up and down all the time.
Right.
Truth is not relative. Truth is predetermined. Truth is external. It exists outside of us.
Right.
You know, it's predetermined. We don't get to decide what it is. We only get to discover what it is. And it corresponds to reality. And the truth that corresponds to reality is that God is omnipresent. He's never left us nor forsaken us. And He always has an outstretched hand. That has to be in our hearts as disciples. Because, as I said in earlier lessons, it's not always going to be easy. It's going to be difficult sometimes, and we need to rest on these things, these principles. Invite God. He's already invited you, and you can trust it. You don't need to look for a sign, even though there are signs to follow. Mainly and namely, a transformed life.
Right. So takeaways, what one or two or even three things you think are the key takeaways from this series of lessons on Christ and calling?
Well, Jesus has called us to be disciples, and discipleship is going to require endurance, but there's reward if you'll endure. I just touch on a few of the things that we need to know and we need to practice as disciples. And I would pray that everybody takes takes these lessons and digests them and makes them a part of them. I pray that these scriptures in this context will help us become better disciples so that we can then make more disciples and better disciples. There are some things in the lessons that will teach us how to be disciples, but it's more of what happens in discipleship and what needs to happen in response to the events that occur in discipleship. So those are the things I want people to know. I pray that they would enjoy these and be challenged by them and learn from them and grow from them.
Okay.
That will be my prayer.
Nice. And I join you with that prayer. What's next after this?
Oh, we're going to start to get into the work now in quarterly 3 and quarterly 4. Now that we've gone thoroughly through what it means to be a disciple, what that process looks like, how we need to endure through it, now it's what we need to do as a result. It's more action-based. So this is going to get into some of the meat moving forward.
And I like meat.
We all
But
do. We're
especially with
carnivores.
hot sauce on it.
Of course, you always have your hot sauce.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Bless you. Thank you for letting me in your home.
By. Yep. We still didn't get that.
We got it. We got it better this time.
All right.
Bless
God
you.
bless.